Welcome all to the weekly outlook. Boone here from EWPRO. So we'll get straight to it. We'll look at this DXY. We got WXYXZ. We got that bullish divergence. I'm looking for that larger correction on the daily to maybe go and break that top, or at least give us that an ABC. Looks like we're getting a WXY, looking for an X2 and then a Z up. Looks like we might get a complex correction in here. It's not looking impulsive like I've been saying for a long time. It was very choppy. So yeah, that's what we have on the daily. We don't have any bearish divergence. This isn't looking impulsive at all. So even on the weekly, I'm looking for this as to break the top because I've got a B up here and a C down here. We still have, I'll just go to the weekly. We have a possible, on the weekly, we have this possible flat here. It's a contracting flat. If you go back through my videos, I'll explain that they're very risky, these contracting flats. This low hasn't been broken for the C down for an A, B, C. So it's still possible to come down to this 100 fib. If you look at my my yearly outlook, you'll see that I put out at the start of the year, I was looking for this to possibly come down to this 100 fib. Now, we got that possible contracting flat, but like I said, this wave in here isn't looking impulsive. So, and there's no confirmation that this C wave's over. So again, on the daily, or on the weekly, there's no confirmation that C wave's over on the weekly. So we got that 5 down here. So if we get 3 up here, and then we can get another 5 down, or this can be a complex correction with a WXYXZ finishing off the move for a correction, and then we get another 5 down. Ideally, I'd like to see 50 fib hit because it just gives us the risk reward. That's why I like the 50 fib to be hit. So then it gives us that risk reward. If it only comes to the 38.2, well, you're not getting that risk reward because it can just come and break that low, and that's it. So I don't want to go into it too much, but yeah, or else we'll be here all day. On the H4, like I've been saying for ages, we got this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I was looking for that 5 up. Now, if you follow Elliott Wave, we get a 333 as a complex correction, or we get a 335 pattern. I always look for that 335 pattern, so we can get that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then look for that 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, and the 5 up. I always look for the 5 up in a complex correction. Why? Is because I want that risk reward, like on the daily. I want that 50 fib retrace. So I'm always looking for that. You can see here, I've got it on here. I'm looking for that 5 up. Now we've got bearish divergence, so that's not going to happen now. But well, this is an ABC, so I will change this to an ABC. Remove. I'll just do this. So we only got an ABC up. So we never got the 5 up. But like I explained, I'm always looking for the 5 up, a 335 pattern for a complex correction, so I can get that risk reward. That's the only reason. So I hope that becomes clearer. Yep, that's fine. So we just got that. So this move can be over. this may be all the correction, and we can tell it's a correction because of how choppy it is. Even on the H4, we got this W, X, Y, X, Z, giving us that bullish divergence, and then we get the larger correction. And that's what we've got. We got that 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as a complex correction 333 pattern. We've broken out of this trend line here now. The thing is, it's very difficult. We're in a correction and we don't know if this correction's over yet. There's no clear direction now because we have bearish divergence and we also have a bull hidden divergence. So we've got a bull hidden divergence here and a bear divergence. So there's no clear direction. This is where people start to lose money unless they can identify these structures like the 333 and the 555 patterns. So ideally, we want to see this go down, break this low, take this bear hidden out of the equation. We want to take that out and then get a larger correction in here. And then we can all look for that sell to go and break the low for another 5 down. So 1, 2, 3, you know. So that's what I'm looking at. Like I said now, it's very risky to trade either way now because we have bearish divergence and a possible bull hidden. You can't trade that bull hidden. It doesn't follow the rules as a bull hidden. The rules that I follow and teach, you have to have something else to trade it as a bull hidden. You can't just trade it as a bull hidden alone. So if we go down to the H1, this wave down is very choppy, and this is what's making it. I'll just go back to the H4. That's what's making this very difficult because this wave here is very choppy. This is very choppy, and this is very choppy. So we can look at it as a possible running flat to go and break that top, and that bull hidden plays out, or it's just an A, B, C, and we got the bearish hidden, not bearish hidden, the bearish divergence, and the bearish divergence plays out. So that's why this is very tricky at the moment. And the thing is that this is looking very corrective. It's not impulsive. So it makes it very difficult to get the direction. I hope that makes it clearer. So basically, when I see stuff like this, I stay out of it. I'm only looking for high probability trades. When things are unclear, I stay out of the market. You're better off to stay out of the market and conserve your capital than to take risky trades that you can't identify the structure on. So on the H1, we got this W, X, Y, X, Z. We got that Z up with bearish. We only got internal bearish divergence. We didn't get a cross down in here, but it doesn't really matter. I'm looking for at least after we got this 5 up here, I'm looking for either a correction down to the 50 fib and more upside to finish off that C wave, or we go, it's just the C waves over and we get an impulse down. Well, not an impulse down, but a motive structure down or motive pattern. So if we look at the last waves, we got a W, X, Y. We're getting an X2, and more than likely we'll get that Z down. So how you can trade this, like I said, I won't be trading it because it's unclear. But if you wanted to trade this, you'd be looking for this Z down, and then you'd be looking for, if you're looking for the long, you'd be waiting for the trend line break and a flag or a correction, something to give you confirmation of more upside to buy, to go and break that top. So really at this stage, because on the H4 we have that possible bull hidden, and we also have that possible bear hidden. So there is no direction, basically. Okay, and like I said a few weeks back, you know, some weeks you'll get trades and everything will be fine. Like on this one here, we got that Z up. Last week we were looking for more downside because you know, we're looking for this downside. So if you got that wave Y down, you can hold it for the Z down, and then just wait until you get more bullish divergence here. And if you get a break of the trend line, well, you'll have to get out of this sell, you know. If they get that bullish divergence and a break up and a bullish setup, well, you'll have to get out of that sell because it can go and break that top, or again, it may just give you more waves down. If it goes and breaks this low, well, then you can hold that sell because you've taken out that possible bull hidden. So more than likely, you'll just get the larger correction. If you got in up here somewhere, well, it's not going to take you out of the trade, and you can hold that trade for a longer term downside. Okay, for that 333 pattern on the H4 to go and break the daily low, if you get what I mean. So at this stage, I think you may be getting I mean, you can trade this Z down. I'll just draw the target. So for the target, you really want to be what's going on? Well, you'll be looking for this. Sorry, I was using the wrong fib. Okay, this is better. So you'll be targeting this 123.6 and the 161.8 for your targets. Your ultimate target's at 161.8 and the 123.6. You definitely want to be at break even at the low of the low. So I'll just remove that. So AU on the daily, again, we never got anywhere near this 100 fib. We got the bearish divergence. We've broken the trend line. The problem is, again, this is looking very corrective. Like this was looking very corrective, you know, for that. This is still looking very corrective. It's not looking impulsive. After we get an A, B, C with bearish divergence, I'm looking for that A, B, C down to the 50 fib to give me that risk reward for more upside. Or it's looking like this and you don't get that risk reward. So if we go down to the H4, we've got to work out what's going on in here. So we don't have any bullish divergence. I don't think we have any bullish divergence. So we got a W, X, and we're in a Y. We should be in an X2, and then I'll be looking for more downside. Again, we got this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that is technically a 333 complex correction. It may be over. This may be the bottom, and we go up from here. Actually, I should go back to the. Oh no, it won't matter. Yeah, so we'll go down onto that. So I'm sort of expecting another one down. I would like to see another one down. We need a correction a similar size as this over here for an X2 to give us that Z down. More than likely, it will give us some sort of a structure in there. So during the week, I was sort of looking at this to go and break that low or a larger flat. Like I said a couple of weeks ago, we were looking for that Z down on the H1. We got that Z down. So I'll remove this. If you remember, we're looking for that Z down in here. And then we've got an A. But this is starting to look, we'll go over it. So we've got an A, B, C in here. So we've got 3 up, and then we've got 3 down. 1, 2, 3 down. So is this going to be a larger correction as a 333 or a 335 pattern as a complex correction? Well, it's definitely possible. I'll just take this this off, because that was during the week that I was looking at that possible structure. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So now do we get 5 up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe it's just 1, 2, 3, and then fall over more for another 5 down. That's what I'm looking for, basically, for this X2. I'm looking for a complex correction. Now, no one knows if it's just going to be a 1, 2, 3 to end the move in the complex correction, or we get that 5 up. We'll have to see. Hopefully we get the 5 up so we get the better risk reward. So if I just draw this fib here, and we'll see what retracement we've got here. So we're looking for the 50 fib and the 61.8. So we haven't got to this 50 fib here yet to give us that risk reward. Like after the 5 down, I'm always looking for that 50 fib retracement so I get that risk reward. So I'm looking for, 3 up, at least 3 up, or we get the 5 up. It doesn't, yeah. Hopefully we get the 5 up here. This is very, we got bullish divergence in here. So between this move and this move, we got the bullish divergence. So you can look to trade this up. It's risky because we're in an X2. The bigger impulse, I dare say, will get another 5 down. So it is risky. There may be a little bull flag in there. If you get the bullish setup, you can take it. Keep very tight stops. Really, for the buy, see, like the DXY, it's not giving any clear direction. So whatever you're going to trade, you really need to be experienced trader to trade this when you don't have a clear structure. Now we do have a clear structure, but only on the H1, like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and possibly the 5 up, or the 3 up. But yeah, it gets risky. So really, on the M15, if we go and have a look, yeah, see, we got a nice impulse up here, impulse down. So we get an A, B, C in here, and then you get that A, B, C. If you get a breakout, any sort of buy pattern, then, well, then you can look for that more upside to scalp. You're scalping on the lower time frames, so they're only scalps, and the lower time frame you go on, the riskier the trades. So yeah, we'll get off the M15. EU. Again, we never got anywhere near this 100 fib on the daily, and we have this bearish divergence. So we got an A, B, C up. We've broken this trend line. We've broken out of this trend line. This was a nice correction in here. If we go down to the H4, you'll see what I've been saying for ages. Nothing's changed. We got this, we got the 5 up, and then we got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So I was looking for that 5 down to give us that risk reward. We only got the 3 down with bullish divergence. So is that over? I should have mentioned on the daily that we've got that WXY, no divergence on the daily. So we've got no bullish divergence on the daily here. So I should have mentioned that on the daily. So it's possible to get this X2. Or that's the end of the move. We never got down to this A, B, C. We never got down to this 100 fib. So this can maybe over. But again, like the DXY, we don't have any clear direction. We have bullish divergence here, so that's good. But we also have this bearish hidden divergence. So it gets very risky. So it can basically go down here, break that low, and the bear hidden plays out. The bear hidden isn't, you can't trade the bear hidden as bear hidden. It's possible that it plays out, but we can't, it's not a valid bear hidden. I'll go into that in the group, how we come to these conclusions and the rules and everything on these divergences. Yeah, so at this stage, you really will go down to the H1. Let's see what we're getting here. So we got the Z down like most of the pairs. Then we got a W, X, Y. Look, I'm looking at this as a flat in here. So we get a Z up. And then we'll have to see if we get a break and a bear set up. We should get a break and a bear set up, and then another C down to the 50 fib, wherever the 50 fib is. I guess we've got it on there, so it's here. And then we can look for more upside if you get a bullish setup. You know, you can look for another 5 up. And that would mean that is the wave C down here, and we only get that 333 complex correction on the H4. So we're getting this 5 up here. So if you're not really in this one here, it becomes risky to take this. It does look like it's actually giving a little bullish setup here. You may be getting a little bullish flag in here. Go down to the lower time frames. But that's the problem. We're on the lower time frames, and the lower the time frame, the riskier the trades. But you know, you can sort of look to get a correction in here and buy it to break that top. For that Z up, it's only a scalp though, and yeah. So the target for that is, see, this wave Y was really impulsive. It come up to the 200 fib. So the chances are we get that Z up, and it does look like it's already going to give that Z up. So your target for this is, for that Z up, is at 123.6. 123.6 and the 161.8. So 123.6 and 161.8 for that Z up. Then look for your larger correction down to the 50 fib, wherever this 50 fib is after you get that Z up, and then look for another 5 up. So yeah, you can, if you're experienced, you can look for that Z up, or you can wait for the larger correction and then your buy set up for another 5 up. So GU, and this is interesting as well. We got, like I showed last week on the weekly, I'm not going to go over it again. On the weekly, we hit that 100 fib. So the chances are we can get this wave down here. I'll leave that arrow on there because there is that chance that we do get that, because we have that A, B, C on the weekly, and we can finish that move off as a flat and go and break that low. If you want to look at that, go into my yearly outlook, or last week I think I'd done it. Went into this structure here. So we have this bearish divergence on the daily, and we've broken out of this trend line. The problem is, again, this isn't looking impulsive. This was impulsive. So like I said last week, we can get this can be a running flat in here for more upside. The problem I see with it is the A, this is choppy, so we can look at that as a B, but the C should be the C wave should be impulsive as well, like it is here. That's the problem I see with it. We've got that bearish divergence. So if we go down to the H4, have a look what we've got. So last week I was looking for that 100 fib. It actually went just a little bit above that 100 fib, and that's fine. So we got 1, 2, 3. We never got down to the 100 fib in the 3 down. And then we got 1, 2, 3. So do we get 5 down here now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or maybe we just get the 3 down. So it's looking like a complex correction. It's looking like bullish because it's so, the corrections are deep. Like this is deep correction, you know. This wasn't so deep, but we never got anywhere near that 100 fib. So we can look at this like a W, X, Y, X, and then we get 5 down. So 3, 3, 5. So we get 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then possibly 3 or 5 down. If we go down on the H1, there was a little trade in here Friday. But yeah, so last week I was looking for that. I think we were in here. Last week I think we were in here. Go up to that 100 fib. I was looking for that 100 fib for the X2. Like I said, as long as this trend line holds, you can look for that sell. So you may have got that buy, and you may have got the sell. So now we've broken this low here. So now if you get a correction in here, you can look for that sell. You have to wait for this correction now, because I dare say on the M15 we've got 5 down and would have bullish divergence. So you really need to wait for this larger correction and then look for your sell. NU daily. So this is tricky as well. They're all sort of, some of them are, some of them aren't, but we never got to that 100 fib. We got this trend line break, and this was a beautiful sell in here. I said before this wave down that this is looking very corrective in here. I hope some of you's got that, and you really should be still on it if you took it. We got that bearish divergence on the daily. Didn't quite get to the 100 fib, but it doesn't matter. We got sort of got this here. So sort of leaving this alone at the moment for flat in here to break that top. So is this a 1, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this is the piece that's missing. I'm just looking at this last piece, so if it's a 5 down, we should get that 5 down on the H4. This trend line here is still holding, like I said last week. As long as this trend line here holds, we're looking for that Z down. Move that. So looking for this Z down. This doesn't look complete. It never broke that top. We do have bear hidden here. So there's that possible bear hidden here to go and break that low. I can't really draw the fib for the target for the Z down because I don't think this is over yet. But this wave Y here, we didn't get any bullish divergence and it never hit this 100 fib. So it becomes risky. Like the DXY and that, there's no clear direction. I mean, this is looking very corrective. So I'll be very surprised if we don't get that Z down. But if we go to the H1, see, the problem was this was very deep here. We never got that Z down like we got on most of the other pairs. We just got a WXY. Never got that Z down. It didn't break the low. So I should really change that. I'll just remove it for now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then we should get 5 up. 1, 2, 3. We only got the 3 up. This is looking like a larger correction here. Ideally, would have liked to see this go and break that top and give us that bearish divergence, but it never done that, and we never got any bullish divergence here either. I don't think this one here has broken the top either. Like this one over here hadn't broken this top here either, and this top here never broke that top. So it's very risky. There's no real setup on it to take a good trade. It's very risky. There is no buy or sell on it. I am looking for an X2, but the correction is very complex. We sort of got a W deep pullback, X, and a Y. And I would have really liked to see this one for a W, X, Y, X, and this one go and break that top for a Z, finishing off this X2. And then we could have all looked for that sell. We could have looked for the trendline break and a bearish setup for that Z down. Now, price action doesn't always do what we want it to do, and it makes it hard. So it makes it no clear trade setup. So, like I say, when I see this and it doesn't give me what I'm looking for, I stay out of it. So yeah, I'm looking for that Z down, but there is no setup that I can see on it yet. UY, we still do have a little bit of room up to this 100 fib, but this is good because we've negated that bear hidden. Like I said, ages and ages ago. When I was down here, I wanted to negate that bear hidden, and we've negated that bear hidden. This can be a flat here though. Like this can be a contracting flat. I'd really like to see this go and break that top and then give us, you know, a bearish setup to go and break the low for an A, B, C, and that's the end of the correction. And then we get like the larger A, B, C. At this stage, this top here hasn't been broken. So I'd like to see it break this top here, or else it's going to be a contracting flat. And with the contracting flat, they can become very complex and they can do all sorts of stuff. Your trade was in here for the buy. Like I said last week, you know, you don't want to be buying up the top. If we go down to the H4, like I've been saying for the last few weeks, we got this W, X, Y, X, Z for an extended wave, Y. And then we got that W, X, Y. I'm looking for that larger X2 and then the Z up on the H4 to finish off that move. And hopefully it goes and breaks that daily A wave. The Z up. That would give us a nice structure to sell if that plays out. At this stage, we have, again, we have bearish divergence and a bull hidden. So there is no clear direction. I am looking at this as a, like we can get an A B in here and a C down for the X2 and then look for the Z up. If we go down to the H1, so I was looking for that Z down last week. It turned out not to be, it turned out to be internal. So now I'm still looking for that X2 and a Z down. Now we've got a W, X, Y. We're getting an X2 and I'll be looking for that Z down. Now, like I said last week, we were up here, I think, and you know, I said I'm not interested in the buy, and this is why. You know, you don't get the setup and never breaks out, and you get the larger correction. We're at a top. You don't want to be buying at tops. It's very risky. We have bear hidden here, so more than likely we'll get that Z down. Then maybe a larger correction, and then another 5 down to finish off that X2, the larger X2 on the H4, and then we'll get that Z up. So yeah, you may even be getting a bearish flag here. It's this bear hidden here. I'm not going to go into it on the lower time frames, but I dare say it's not over. It may not be valid yet, because this just looks like a WXY, probably some sort of an X in here, and a Z up to finish off that internal 5 up, and then you get the sell on it for that Z down. You'll have to go down to the lower time frames. I mean, I offer the course. It's the cheapest course out there that you'll ever come across. And to tell you the truth, if I wish I had have seen a course that I give when I was starting to trade. You know, it's the best value for money course out there. There's a lot I teach that you will not get anywhere else. Yeah. So we have that bear hidden, and I'm looking for that Z down. Will it go and give some sort of a flat little correction here and then another one up here and then go, or does it give a little bear flag in there? Well, you know, see again, it's not a valid bear hidden yet. But you are getting a little bear flag here. If you get a break, you know, you can test it and look for that Z down. It's risky when it hasn't given the valid, when the hidden divergence, it hasn't been validated. Sometimes they still do go, but we like it for a high probability trade. We really want to see the hidden divergence valid and then trade it. Yeah. You Sheffy, the Swissy. So on the daily, we've got this beautiful 5 waves down here with bullish divergence. So we were looking for this, and we got the 100 fib. It's bounced off this 100 fib for an A, B, C. Got a nice break off that 100 fib. So is we going to get a larger correction now for an A, B, C, and we go and break that bottom? Well, we'll have to see. But you can go for that. The problem is we have a higher high here. It doesn't matter, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. Like I've been saying up here, I'm only looking for the sells. So after we get a structure up, well, an impulse up, well, looking for that either 50 fib, just an ABC down, or we get 5 down and it goes and breaks that low for the larger structure. So if we go down on the H4, now I'm in the sell up here, but like UY, we may have a WX, Y, X, Z up in here with bearish divergence, but then we've got this wave here, so this may be a WX, Y. So we're in a wave Y with an extended wave Y, and then we get that X2, and then a Z up as well. This one here, this was your trade up here. But we've got no clear direction. We've got bearish divergence, and this low here hadn't been broken. So at this stage, we have that possible bull hidden. So we have to see what we get in here. Ideally, I'd like to see more downside and go and break that low, taking out that bull hidden. And then we can look for the short for the larger daily C down to go and break the low. So really, I'd like to see this. This is very impulsive. It's a nice motive structure or motive pattern. Go and break that low. So we'll go down on the onto the H1, see what we're getting. I'll show you the entry that I got. So this is how I traded it on the lower time frames. I was looking for this last week. I said this can go and break that top, because we didn't get a lower low here. We never got a lower low here of this low here. So I said this can go and break the top, but I'm not interested in the buy. I only want the sell. We hadn't quite hit that 100 fib. So I said, you know, it can go up and hit that 100 fib, but I'm not interested in the buys. I don't want buys. And then we started to get this structure here. This is exactly where I got in. The break of this candle here. The close of this candle here is my entry. So now if we look at it, so hopefully some of you has got this, because you know, it's a nice impulse in the wave Y. Now, this wave Y may not be over yet. There's no confirmation this wave Y is over yet. We are getting internal bullish divergence, so it is getting to an end. It may come down and break that top bottom. But if we look at the swing points in here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 5 swing points. So this may be the end of wave Y here, and we get an A, B, C for the X2, and then I'm looking for that Z down. Or we get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which is corrective, 8, 9, which is motive or impulsive, and then we get that 1, 2, 3 up for the X2. Just got to watch it. Like, I'm holding this trade because my target is that daily bottom, you know, for the daily, you know, for that C, well, for the larger C down. So I'm looking to add here. This, I was hoping on Friday that this would just be like the start of it, A, and then get like 2 in here, and then another one up in here for that X2. It hasn't given that. It's given a nice impulse, well, small impulse up. We haven't broken it. We haven't crossed up or anything. So sort of really need to wait for this correction. And then, you know, look for that Z down. You'll be targeting that 123 and the 161.8 for that Z down. And then we should get the larger correction up to the 50 fib, wherever that 50 fib is on the whole move down. And then we look for another 5 down. You can trade if you're not in, if you didn't take this, you can take the wave Z down, but wait for a nice setup to trade it, and just scalp that Z down. Wait for the larger correction, and then you can hold that second larger correction. Once you get that larger correction after the Z down, then you can look for holding your position like for a longer term. But at this stage, because we don't know on the daily, like I said, on the daily, we will either get an A, B, and a C, and that's it, down to the 50 fib. Always look for that 50 fib retracement of this. Or we get that W, X, Y, X, Z, go and break that low. We don't know what we're going to get yet. You know, no one does. But ideally, there is that possible, you know, on the weekly, there is still that possible bear hidden in play. So it does go and break that low for a Z down on the weekly. So there still is that possible structure there. I'll be targeting that 50 fib, and second target will be that low. I dare say I may not go and break that low, and we just get 3 down here. And as soon as I see a bullish setup, I'll get out of my first trade at the 100 fib of this. Then if it gives a bullish setup, well, I'll get out of the second half, because then if I get that bullish setup over here, well, you know, I don't want it to be break even. I'll just take the profit off my second trade, a second half. So hopefully that makes it clearer. So we're looking for that Z down, and then the larger correction on the H1. UCAD, the daily, we're still in that trend. Right, trend line has disappeared. Not sure why, but yeah. Okay. So this trend line's held for ages. We've just started to break out in here. Still don't have the cross up. There's a lot of bullish divergence. So like I've been saying for a long time, I'm not going to trade. I'm not looking for sells. I'm only looking for buys. I will not go against that bullish divergence on the daily. Now, we're nowhere near this 100 fib. The 100 fib's right down here for that A, B, C. So we're nowhere near that 100 fib, and we have all this bullish divergence. So I don't really want to go against that. We have a look here. Last week, we were looking at that C up. We're looking for this A, B, C as a flat. We bounced clean off that 100 fib. And there was this little flat in here. I'll show it on the daily, on the H1. And I said, well, you know, you can put a sell stop here and look to trade that to the below. But I said, I'm not going to be trading it because I'm only looking for buys. And this is why I only look for buys, because look what it done. It would have got you into the trade and taken you out, either for break even. I dare say you would have lost. It would have hit you stop loss. That's what I mean. I only take the high probability trades. I don't want to be stuffing around when you got bullish divergence on the daily. You know, I think I said last week, I don't want to take the crumbs at the end of the move. You know, the larger impulse is going to be the upside. Even if this broke the low, I'd still wait for a bullish setup here after it's broken that low. Now, I did take a trade on this on Friday. I'll go down to the H1. So on the H4, there is still that possibility that we do break that low. Like I said, I'm not going to be interested in the sells. You know, but there is that possibility that this is a flat here for A, B, C. And then we got the correction in here for an A, B, C in here as a running flat. So on the H1, this was the last week. I think we were up here somewhere. I said, we got this one wave down here. We got A, B, C, and I said, you know, you can buy below that wave, or you can get in wherever you get in, like whatever strategy you got for your entries. I was looking for that, you know, at least an A, B, C down. Well, it turns out we got just an A, B, C, and we got that bullish divergence. So you either took the hit because this was your stop loss. If you didn't get it to break even wherever you got in, I actually took the buy here, in here, for that, because I said, you know, we got the 5 up, we get that larger ABC down, and then we can get another 5 up. Well, I took this buy in here. It actually took me out at break even, but I don't care. It didn't go, but you know, I should have really taken a little bit of profit off, but I wanted to hold it because there is that possibility that we get more upside. I'm only looking for buy setups at the moment. There is no buy setups, and yeah, it's so we got this little flat in here. I should have put this on last week. So we only got an ABC down. The problem now is this is looking impulsive. We got a high. Problem is this is deep. You know, this the 61.8 here. You know, this is down to the 78.3, 78.6 fib. Sorry. So it's a deep correction. So more than likely, it's just going to be an A, B, C up here, and then more downside. So it's hard to buy this It's not giving a very nice setup. We got a sharp move here, so maybe we get some sort of a running flat in here for more downside to go and break that H4 low. Sort of like this one here, it gave that flat but never went, you know. It did give the C down, but that was all it gave, you know. Yeah, so it's very tricky. I'm only looking for the buy setups at the moment. There's no buy setup on it. You can look for the sells to go and break the low, but that's risky, in my opinion. GY on the daily. So I've been saying that so we're in this wave Y. So we got a WXY. We're in a wave Y. We're still in a wave Y. There's no confirmation that this wave Y is over on the daily, and there is no bearish divergence on the H4. We were looking for this top to be broken. A couple of weeks ago, we had that flat in here, and we were looking for that top to be broken. That top was broken, and between this top and this top, because this is a correction in here, between this top, and this top, there is no bearish divergence, but between this top here and this top, we do have bearish divergence. Like I said last week, we were at a top. I'm only looking for sells. I'm not going to be looking for buys up here after this top's been broken. You know, it's crazy. We don't know. Like, price can get to this 161.8, but it doesn't have to. You know, it can start the correction anywhere. As soon as it got to this 123.6, well, it can start the correction from there. You know, the D1 correction. On the H1, we had this correction in here. If you took that, I said on that, I think it was a couple of weeks ago, you know, if you took that buy, you can keep it and move your stop loss to break even as soon as that top gets broken. Last week, I can't remember where, I think we were in here or even up here somewhere. It was looking like a flat here. I said, you know, there's a possible flat here, but I'm not looking for the buys. I'm only looking for the sells. You know, we're at a top. You don't want to be risking buying at a top, and we had that bearish internal bearish divergence as well. So you really don't want to be buying at the tops. That's why it's important to look for your daily charts. You always have to go over your daily charts. If you're doing your analysis, you go over your daily charts. There's no point just doing H4 and H1 to look for trades. You have to see what's going on in the bigger picture, because you want to trade the high time frames, or else it becomes risky. Like this is called over trading. If you're looking for a trade up here, it's over trading, and you'll never make money. You will not make money if you're over trading. You will not make money. Like I said last week, you know, less is more when it comes to trading. Less is more. So like that UY, U Sheffy, you know, I took that sell up the top and I'll hold it, and that's it. You know, less is more. That's how you. So now on here, we got. Do we have bull hidden? I think we do. Not quite. Not quite bull hidden. We don't have any bearish divergence. there's really, we've only got one impulse down here. It's looking like a buy. We got a impulse up, and it's looking a bit bullish, so we might get a larger correction in here. We've broken this trend line, the H4 trend line. So we're looking for a correction in here to sell, because I should have showed it on the daily. We're looking for, if this is the end of wave Y, we're looking for this. I'll just go in here, get rid of a few of these fibs. So we got up to that 123.6. So now you don't want to be trading up here, like I've been saying. You want to wait for this X2 on the daily. So if I put the fib on, where is it? So we're looking for that 38.2 in the X2. I always like price to get down to that 38.2 in the X2, or a wave 4, if that's the way you're looking at it. It doesn't matter. But I'm looking for an A, B, C in here. This was a large correction, so this can be like large as well. You know, looking for a similar size correction as over here. Now, like I said, there's no no confirmation that this wave Y is over yet. But if you're shorting, this is your target. You're targeting this 38.2. Now, yeah, so that's what I'll be looking for on the daily, some sort of a correction, large correction, to come back to this 38.2. So if you're looking for shorts, this is your ultimate target, that 38.2, because although there's no confirmation it's over, on the H4 we do have that possible bear divergence, you know, between this high and this. So I'm only really looking for sells. So if you do get some sort of a setup in here, a bearish setup, see, we have broken this bearish trend line here. So we've broken that bullish trend line, sorry. So, you know, if you get any sort of bearish setup in here, look for, you know, you more than likely get 5 down. You can get 5 down, and then you might get 3 up, and then another 5 down as some sort of a larger structure for that H1, a daily. So yeah, I'm only looking for sells. It isn't really giving a nice sell setup yet. If you're not in up the top, like ideally you would have been looking for this, like, you know, up the top. Would have been looking for the break in here. Yeah. If you trade this pair, this was your setup. You know, you don't want to be, you know, selling down here. You know, you have to wait for that larger correction. If you didn't get this, well, you got to wait for that correction. So that's what I'll be looking for: an A, B, C in here, and then another A, B, C. Wait for your trend line break, bearish setup, and sell. Yeah. You should get a nice impulse down. If you get that setup, if you don't get the bearish setup, will you stay out of it? EG, like I've been saying for ages, I'm not looking for the sell. I'm only looking for the buy. And this is why. So on the daily, we don't have any bullish divergence. We aren't at that 100 fib. We're just about at that 100 fib. and I even said a couple of weeks back, you know, we can get this A, B, C, and C wave breaks that low. It doesn't look like it will now. We're nearly crossing up here on the daily. I'm only looking for buys, like I've been saying for ages. You know, I'm not interested in sells on this. We do have this possible I was looking for a regular flat here. That failed. Then it broke that low there. So I was looking for an A, B, C here to go and break that low. We got that low broken. But even now, it's still looking like an A, B, C in here, and then a C up. This can be a flat. For more downside to go and break that low. Now, I'm not interested in the sells, like I've been saying for ages. Even if this is a flat, I'm not interested in the sells. But that possible structure is there. Okay? Wherever this ends, it may turn, like I said last week, this can turn like an expanding flat and break that top and still go and break that low. Because we've broken this low in 3 waves. So we've got an A, B, C. So you can't not look at this possible structure. It is possible that this just goes down and breaks that low, and that's the end of it. And then we get the larger correction. But I'm not going to be taking, we're at a low, so near that 100 fib for the possible larger flat. So I don't want to be going against that. I don't want to be selling at the bottom, you know. So there is that possible structure. If you do want to, if you're a riskier trader, well, it's up to you, and you can look for the sells. But for me, I'm only looking for buys. Last week, I think we were in here somewhere, and I said that. Actually, I remember what I said last week. Last week I said we had these two here, and I said I'll put a buy stop at the top of here, and that wasn't triggered, and it come down, broke the low. We're in here, and I was looking at this, and I said you can put a buy stop up here, and yeah, when that's triggered, yeah, this will be a stop loss. Well, that was never triggered. This one here never triggered it, and then it went down, broke the low. This is my entry here. I've got a nice buy set up here. I was only looking for buys, and that's what I got, that C up. I was looking for that C up on the H4. So now I can hold that position, because even if this, I mean, if it comes down, it's going to give the larger correction, and I'll get out on this larger correction if it gives it. Or this can just be the bottom here, and we get that larger C up on the daily. So I hope some of you's got this. It was during the week, so you know, I think it was Monday or Tuesday that I got this. I wasn't triggered into this. Fell over again, gave more internal bullish divergence. Now, you know, like I said, you don't really want to be. You can sell if you get a nice setup to sell. You can look at that flat to go and break this low. You're taking crumbs off at the end of the market. Leave the crumbs for someone else to take. You know, you want to take the high probability trades. It sort of looks like there was a flat in here. I didn't take it because I was already in it, but there was a flat here. So you could have either brought there or there. You either took profit or you got break even. Now you really need to wait because this on the H1, this is probably an A or a W or a 1, and then we get correction back to the 50 fib, and then we get another impulse. So we get an impulse, correction, impulse. So that's what I'll be looking for. If I get a large correction in here, I'm going to wait to see what we get in here. At the moment, it's still looking, because this is a very deep correction, I dare say it's just one more down here and then more upside for some sort of a flat here. Could turn into some sort of a flat here. The best bet, if you're looking for the buy, because there is that possible flat on the H4, so you really need a good setup to buy now. Your buy setup was here, because this can fall over, give you a correction, and then give you 5 down to break that low. If I see something like this, I'll get out of this trade and I'll look for a better entry. But at this stage, this is still looking bullish. Well, this is a deep, even if this is the impulse here, this is still looking deep. So more than likely, it could be something. We don't know what sort of structure we're going to get, but it could be something like this: A, B, C, and then a C down in here for an A, B, C, and then more upside. And this is your larger correction for another 5 up. That's what I'm hoping I will get, because I'm in the buy and I want to add. But like I said, if at this stage with the price action that we got, because this is such a deep correction, this has probably gone to the 78.6 fib. So that's why I'm looking for that structure that I just drew then. But if I do get a big impulse down and a correction, I'll get out on this correction and I'll wait for another buy setup where probably get the 5 down or whatever, and then impulse up, and then you get a buy setup over here somewhere for the larger impulse to the upside on the daily. Sorry, I'm dragging on a little bit. EY, I'm going to start covering this because I'll start with the weekly. So I'm going to start covering this pair. We're sort of getting up to the top. But so on the weekly, actually, so we got moved down. We're going to look at this. We got bullish divergence. We got this move up here. So I'm looking for this as a larger A, and this as an internal A, B, C, and then a larger A, B, C in here, and then we get that A, B, C up here. That's the larger structure that I'm looking at. So at this stage, I'm just going to give you this A, B, C, okay? That's what I'm looking for. But when we look at the daily, we're getting up to this 100 fib. We haven't quite hit that 100 fib yet, and we have bearish divergence. So there is a possible 50 fib retrace coming. Like your 50 fibs around here somewhere. This is looking choppy. Right, it's like GY. It's very choppy. And we have that larger correction in here. But this one's in GY isn't giving that bearish divergence, so it can maybe give that 5th wave up. This one here, we've got that bearish divergence, and we're nearly at this 100 fib, so it is something to look at. We may get a drop here. Now, on here, did we break that top? Yeah, we've just broken this top here. So we had a flat, similar to GY. We got that flat here, so we got an A, B, C. We're looking for that top to be broken. And we've broken that top now. I dare say this isn't over and we still get more upside. and possibly up to that 100 fib, because it will just keep on dribbling up. This is a daily trend line. So if I draw the H4 trend line, so why this trend line holds, you can look for buys, but we're at a top. I won't be taking any buys. I'm only looking for sells. We've got bearish divergence on the daily, so I'm not going to go against that. I'm looking for sells. So we've broken that top. We've just broken that top. I dare say this isn't over. Like there's probably still more upside in it. Like I said, I'm not interested in the buys. I'm only interested in the sells, because this will more than likely give an A, B, C or something in here, and then give another one up, giving us that bearish divergence. And then we can look for that sell. We can look for that trend line break, bearish structure, something to sell, and we can sell it. It's going to be a few weeks. It may be Monday. Who knows? We could just get it fall over from here, and it gives us a bearish setup on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. But I dare say it's going to take a few weeks for this all to play out and give us a setup. But I just want to give you the heads up on it at this stage. Like I said, I'm not looking for the buys. If we look here, we got we sort of got a W, X, Y, X, Z here. So we got a W, X, Y, X, Z. And then we've got this sharp move down. So we've got an A, B, C in the B wave, and then we've got a C down. So we've got an A, B, C. So more than likely we'll get another 5 up, like this, and possibly up to that 100 fib. It's up to you if you want to, take the crumbs off at an end of a move, but you can look for that buy. If you get a nice buy setup, you can look for it. I'm not interested in the buys. I'm only interested in the sells. So, yeah. So if you want to look for the buys, you can. I'm more interested in the sell when it happens. There is no sell set up on it at the moment. Okay. But I'm just giving you the heads up on what I'll be looking for in that, and I will start covering that EY. On to gold. So daily, we've got this WXY. We're just about getting this cross up. I'm looking for this X2 and then a Z down. This in here may not be over. So if we go down here, like I said last week, we've got this A, B, C in a B wave, and then we get that A, B, C. We're looking for that 100 fib. I think we're in here somewhere. And I said, if you buy this, definitely be at break even at that 100 fib, because more than likely we're going to get this, like, A, B, C, larger A, B, C. So price went up and hit that 100 fib, and we've got an impulse down here now. So if we go to the 100, the H1, if we have a look what we've got, yeah, so we had a little flat in here. If you brought above there, well, you either took the profit or moved it to break even. You shouldn't have lost any money out of it. Just like, when I took that CAD trade, that buy CAD trade, it gave me that C up, or the impulse up, and I moved to the break even and took me out of break even. But, you don't want to take trades that you want to keep tight stops. So here now we've broken out of this trend line. Now I think we have bull hidden here. Did that break below? So yeah, so we're in indecision. We've got bearish divergence and a possible bull hidden. There's a bull hidden here because this low didn't break this low, and we got bearish divergence. So it's risky. It's not giving the setup. It's not giving a high probability trade. And like I said, last few weeks, we're in a W1 correction on this gold, and it's going to be choppy for a long time. It's going to be very difficult to trade this pair. It's more for the experienced traders at this stage because we're in that larger correction. It's going to be choppy. So now it's sort of giving, it's sort of giving a bullish setup in here. This can be just an A, B, C, and then you get an A, B, C, or a W, X, Y, X, Z to go and break that low. So really, it's because we have this bearish divergence and this possible flat, to break that low. I would really like to see this flat play out now. And then I'm not really interested in the sell though. I'd rather stay out of this and wait for that to break the low. Or if I do get a nice sell set up in here, I will take that sell. Yeah, ideally we get price to come down, break this low, then give us a bullish setup and we can buy it. Yeah, just for a wave up. Because we never broke this low here. This is the low here. This is a higher low over here. So I'm always looking for an A, B, C. This is such a deep correction. I'll be very surprised if we don't get this one down. You can look for that sell. If you get a nice sell set up in here, look for that sell. The buy, it's going to be risky because we already have bearish divergence, So yeah, I won't drag on it. It's more for the experienced traders. If you can't identify these patterns, you shouldn't be trading, especially this pair at the moment. We're in a big correction. So WTI. So you can see here, I'm looking at on the W1, WXY, WXY. This here has broken that top, so that negated that bear hidden. So we're not going to get this X2 now. At this stage, when we're up here, there was that possibility that this was bear hidden. Now it's negated it, which is good because now we know what direction we're going. We're not going to break this low again. This is the low. Over here, when we're getting over here, there was still that possible W, X, Y, X, Z. But going on to the daily chart, we have that bearish divergence. We still haven't broken this trend line. And this here is looking very corrective. So we want to get this short. We have that bearish divergence. H4. So here we got this W, X, Y, X, Z in here in the A wave. Now this has become a little bit more complex as the larger correction. So what we have in here is like this. I'm looking at this as a flat. This was sharp. This was sharp, and this was really reasonably sharp. And this was the correction in here. This is the choppiest wave, or in here. So I'm looking at this as a. If I clear that again, so we've got so we've got an A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. I'm looking for this C up. This is very choppy, and we've been in a sideways market for the last 2 days. Very sideways market in here. it's only a scalp if you're looking for this buy. We've got the A, B, C in the wave B, so we're looking for the A, B, C. I was hoping this one would go and give us that C up here. It didn't, and it's just stayed sideways for the last couple of days. Ideally, I'd really like to see this break the top, give us that C up, and then look for that sell, because we got that 5 down here, A, B, C. Yeah, we can look for the 50 fib, you know. I'm looking for that 50 fib retrace on the daily. So, you know, whether it gets there, we're still in this uptrend. So yeah, it's not really playing ball. It's really sideways at the moment. Bitcoin daily, there's nothing, like I've been saying. We've got getting all this internal bearish divergence. This is looking very bullish here to go and break that top. Like I said last week, this can be a flat in here to go and break that top, giving us even more divergence. H4, I should have taken this off ages ago because we never got that Z up. But we got this A, B, C in here, and I was looking for that A, B, C in here to go and break that top. It's very slow in here. There was a trade in here I showed you. This is very slow and very choppy. It looks like it's starting to go now for this flat. On the H1, this was your trade in here. You got this one in here to get that. Now we're getting a larger correction. So this was your trade in here. I think most people would have got that if they looked at this. And now you're getting this trend line break in here. You had a little flag in here, or a little correction in here to get this A, B, C. You're looking to break that top. We're at a top. It's risky to buy at tops. Eventually this will fall over. I'd be more interested in the sell than risking taking the crumbs at the end of the market. So ideally, if this plays out like that flat on the H4, plays out and gives us that move up to go and break that top, I dare say it will. Then wait for your trend line break, bearish setup, and look for the sell. Yeah, that's all I'd be looking for sells. I mean, you can scalp these buys, keep tight stop losses. If you're buying these, like this one would have been fine because you actually got that bullish divergence here. You got that A, B, C with the bullish divergence. So break of this trend line, this is a high probability trade. This one over here, it's still a high probability trade because you're looking at that large A, B, C in here. But it starts to get risky when you're at the top. You've got to be more experienced to, if you can't identify these patterns yourself, you really shouldn't be trading at the top of a market, buying at the top of the market or selling it at the bottom of the market if you can't identify the structures yourself. SPX on the daily, we still aren't nowhere near this 100 fib. Sort of in this channel here. Looks like it's just breaking out of the channel. Eventually, I'm looking for this like A, B, C down to the 50 fib. Larger correction. I'm looking for that larger correction. I don't want to be buying. I don't want to be buying at the top of the market. We got that bearish divergence there, so I think we may have lost the bearish divergence on the last two, like in here. I think we may have lost that bearish divergence there, but we're still getting that bearish divergence overall. On the H4, this was your trade in here. We got that nice breakout of here, got that nice trade set up here. This is turning bullish. Now it's hit that 100 fib. So we've got that A, B, C. It's hit that 100 fib. Is there bearish divergence? So we don't have any bearish divergence. So now we can start to look at this. I'll take this off. And start to look at it as more impulsive. Oh, yeah, more motive. So we can start to look at this as more motive now. So we can come up to that 161.8. Don't have any bearish divergence. So we get W, X, Y, X, Z. And I dare say, if we get this 5 up here, it's going to be the end of the move, and we're going to get that larger daily correction then. You know, you've missed the trade. Like, this was your trade here. This was really your trade. If you're not in it and you're buying stuff like this up the top, it gets risky. You know, you get a lot of break-even trades, and it's over trading. Really, now you have to wait. If you're not in this, you really have to wait for this like X2 to trade the Z up, or you may get on the H1, you might get a little sell set up here, or wherever you get the sell set up. You know, you're going to get a sell set up somewhere and look for the sell, but there is no buy or the sell on it. I mean, you can look for buys. Why this trend line here holds? You can look for buy setups in the wave. Why? But it becomes risky, you know. Like I've been saying, you know, we don't have any bearish divergence, so you can look for flags and you can buy. It's not something that I do. You know, I like to get into the first trade and then hold that. It's hit your first target. Like your 100 fib is your first target, and then your second target is that 161.8 on the H4. That's the trade. So on the day on the H1, we've got this so we've got W, X, Y, looking for the X. So you'd be better off to wait for this X2 on the H1 and then trade that Z up, wait for your larger correction, and then look for another 5 up. Wait for that larger correction unless you want to trade that Z up. Wait for that Z, wait for your correction. To trading flags up here, you're gonna get in trouble. You know, you will get in trouble if you start trading flags up here. I think we were up here. I can't remember exactly where we were last week, but I think we may have even been down here somewhere or around here. I said, you know, this was your trade here, and look to take profit, well, half off at the 100 fib, and then your 161.8 is your second target. You go back and look what I said last week, because we weren't sure if at last week, I think we did have a little bit of bearish divergence. That bearish divergence is gone now, so it's not an ABC. It's more of a motive structure. So yeah, if you trade this, wait for the X2, then look for your Z up, and then be careful on your Z up, because you more than likely get a larger correction and then another 5 up. The DAX, so we still aren't at that 100 fib. We got bearish divergence. we're in this sort of channel here, getting a lot of bearish divergence on H4. So this was a nice trade in here. A lot of people got that. I dare say that watch me or follow me. So we got 5 up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, larger correction, and then we'll probably get that 5 up again. This is looking still bullish, but we do have that, like, we have that bearish divergence there. Really would like to see that. I dare say this top will get broken. Yeah, is this over here? If we go down in here, you probably could look to buy this. You know, this was the deep pullback in here. In this wave here, it was a deep pullback. Would have been nice if it broke out and then a nice bullish flag to buy. But it does look like it's going. This can be just an A, B, C, then another one down. You know, it gets risky when we're at tops. But I dare say this top will be broken and then give us that bearish divergence. You can look for the buys if you get a nice buy setup. Like if you get something like a little flat in here, buy stop above the top, so stop loss down here. If you get some sort of pattern like this, well, you can look for that buy, move it to break even, and at the top there, and see if you get that A, B, C. We'll see what you get. This was a very impulsive move, so you should get another impulse after it. The FTSE, like I've been saying, I'm looking for this A, B, C in here. This has broken the top now by the look of it, and that's fine. I said, this can go and break that top. This was your trade in here that I said you can buy, and yeah, it's gone and broken that top. Now it's it's going to be risky because we're going to get that bearish divergence. I'll just double check to see if that has broken the top. Looks like it has. Hasn't quite, I don't think. No, it hasn't quite broken that top. On H4, this was a correction. I said, look to that buy. So you'd be still in that trade. If you go down to the H1, see, so this is turned motive as well. So you can still hold that. Your first target, I said, your first target's at 100 fib, your second target's at 161.8. If you go back through my video. A second. Okay. On the H1, if you're still in this trade, hold it, because you'll more than likely get this Z up. And here's your trend line. So you're in that uptrend. So you got W, X, Y. You don't really want to be buying up here. You want to wait for this correction, this X2. Actually, I can put that 38.2 on. I'll put that on. So, actually, yeah. So I'll take some of these off so it's not interfering. And then we'll put this other one on. Now, this wave Y may not be over yet, like, you know, but wait for this X2. Change the color. So we're looking for that X2. You know, if you get, if you're in this trade, like wherever you got in on this flag, or however you break at this top, however you got in, wait for this correction in here. Like to see it get down to 38.2, and then look for that buy. Like, wait for your correction impulse up, break a trend line, and look for that buy for the Z up. And then once it gets to that Z up, you can take this trade out off the table and your wave Z trade off. You'd be looking to add for the X2. Okay, so sorry it's taken a little bit longer this week, but yeah, hope you all enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week. Bye.